Okay, this is what's going on. See that guy there? He is the mayor of a surrounding area of East Pittsburgh. He is the Pittsburgh mayor, Fidello. Yeah, who's here too. He's his right-hand man, okay? Now, in East Pittsburgh, right after this happened, there was no East Pittsburgh mayor. In fact, there was no government officials at all in any of the government buildings, the police department, nothing. Nobody made a statement. It was hushed the first week from East Pittsburgh. In case you've been living under a rock or, you just don't care enough to know, the boy that was shot in the back, the 17-year-old, and if you think he's the only one, you are straight. I don't want to say you're out of your mind, but you're misinformed. And please, if you don't believe me, ask me. I have lots of proof. I'll show it to you for free. Anyway, they come down. They tried to keep the media from coming, first of all, by telling them, oh no, there's no protest going on in East Pittsburgh. We have this exit blocked off because we had a traffic accident. That's right, a traffic accident. So all the rest of the media kept, well, it's just a traffic accident. Well, two guys went down there anyway, media men, real media, if you call it that, local news, and they used their Facebook Live to report. Well, these people, there wasn't a lot. There was about 30 people, and there were, it's hilarious. It's actually so sad that we have law enforcement that puts full riot gear on for unarmed, peaceful protesters trying to seek regress from their government, who aren't doing anything, aren't hurting anybody, have no intention of even going to the road. But they were hiding in the bushes, in the woods, with helmets, metal pads, metal shield. What do they do? You're not supposed to come to the fucking a peaceful demonstration like that. This is America. It was a peaceful demonstration. Our government officials and our law enforcement is running amok, and nobody cares until it's going to be them. You'll see. It's going to be you one day. It's going to be somebody you know that didn't deserve it, that didn't do anything wrong, but people are so conditioned to believe. That's why I'm saying take off the smoke and mirrors and look. Just because they have a blue suit on or a riot gear. What are they doing with the riot gear? Peaceful protesters in East Pittsburgh. It's not like they're downtown. They shouldn't even bring that then. Nobody's there to hurt anybody. The only killing I see going on that's getting solved is where the cops kill these people. And if you think for 1 minute that they don't kill more, you're so wrong. That's why I'm going to show you this one clip. He addresses the mayor about the one cop who shot 3 people in 6 months, and he did. The last victim was Mark Daniels. The story did not coincide with the video at all. It was actually an impossibility for it to have happened the way they said it did. But people just, the news said it. Not even so much the news, but the authorities. They're not reporting fake news. They're doing their job terribly. They're not very good journalists or researchers. They need to have some more courses in that. This is 101 stuff. If something don't make sense, you ask the person who's there to speak to the people, who's representing the government, who's supposed to be working for the people. You ask a legitimate question. What do you mean he stabbed the dog 12 times, but there was no dog in the video, sir? Right? That's Mark Daniels. Just ridiculous. The stuff they come up with. Listen, real quick. This department came up with a real doozy. They had to shoot a guy, 2 undercover cops. Okay, this is why. Because they were working undercover, trying to catch him on it, making a drug purchase from them. They were undercover. So when they pulled him over, I know if I'm an undercover cop, I would certainly pull my unsuspecting drug dealer that I'm trying to bust on an undercover operation. I'd pull him over with a police car. Makes perfect sense, you idiots. And of course they come out and say, of course they showed their badges right away, and the guy gave him a hard time and started fighting, and he ended up with 1 gunshot wound to the head. Well, this was a murder. You don't pull somebody over along the roadside, follow him from Butler County into Allegheny County to make a small drug purchase, and then you're still going to go with that whenever you slip up and say you tried to pull him over. Excuse me, I'm pulling you over. I'd like to buy some drugs. Don't worry about the lights. We're not the police. It doesn't happen that way. It didn't happen that way. The old sheriff, these are old hokey fuck people, and what I've learned about Pittsburgh is this. And I don't want to hear nothing from nobody about me talking about race with this. If you don't like that I talk about race, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. You're retarded. Seriously. You're retarded and you need to quit worrying about it. It's my business anyway, but the point is, I have spoken out just as vehemently for dumb white people who keep blaming everybody else besides their government, because it's easy, isn't it? It's easy to blame the weaker person. It's hard to take on the government. You have to have a lot of balls. You can't be cowardice. I'm not cowardice. I don't like to get out here and talk shit like this because I'm going to get stalked tomorrow, you know? My local officers are going to keep going by, following me every house I go to, just watching me. I guess they like to keep me safe. By the way, they don't have to keep you safe anymore. It's been ruled in the Supreme Court. It's not their obligation, it's not their duty, and that's not what they do. They're there to generate money for the state. They're there to protect government buildings and businesses that have all their hands in their pockets. It's not about the citizens. They're out to get you on a speeding ticket. Wake up. But what I'm saying is, if you love your country like you say you do, like I do, which is why I get so personally pissed whenever someone gets mad about someone not singing a song or putting their hand on their heart and respecting a piece of cloth that does not mean absolutely one single thing in one of those three colors it's supposed to represent. And by the way, the American flag is not black, blue, and white. And it doesn't have a big thin blue line. That is the most hypocritical representation of an American flag I've ever seen. Do you understand what a thin blue line is, y'all? That's where the cops commit crimes against the people and they don't tell anybody. And this is what everybody's going with, the new American way. Did you forget about democracy and justice and fairness, or do you just want a gang of thugs running shit and do what they say? Getting back to my point, just because they're dressed in a uniform, that they're people, okay? This guy here, the tall guy, I'm not making fun of him at all. I don't make fun of how people dress, but he knows the press is going to be there. He's got to quell this crowd, okay, before more people come. They already tried to kettle them. The riot police, they come out of the bushes. What a joke, man. If it wasn't so sad and scary, they're really not a big force to be reckoned with. Any kind of dummy that would put all that shit on and hide behind the woods. Like, I could just imagine them taping little twigs to their helmets to go after peaceful demonstrators who's never threatened anybody. They just want answers and something to be done. And they're still protesting at this point because the cop who did the murder, okay, don't believe what you heard about. There was a drive-by. Kids are not going and driving by and calling Ubers, and Ubers aren't gladly taking them for another 13 minutes. No panic, no nothing. No push to 911, nothing, right? After a drive-by. And if I'm going to run and I just committed a murder, am I going to leave my gun in the car? Especially when I know the police are going to shoot me anyway. They run because they're dealing with dangerous criminals. They kill people all the time there. They're jack the boys up. They're jacking kids up constantly. Look at the research I have. I can prove it to you. You can come and sit. You have to pay me $10 per half hour. That's the least for my services. I can prove it. I can prove that I'm right about what I'm saying, and you should fear police more. And it's not just for black people. Go to a game. Get a little loud while you're by some moody big thughead dummies who don't know how to solve anything except with caveman mentality and violence. And throwing someone into a set of handcuffs is violence. That's kidnapping if you didn't do anything wrong. But it's okay if they arrest you illegally. You know why? Because people just worship them no matter what. And that's why this is true. Ignorance of the law on their behalf. It's okay if they arrest you illegally. If they thought they were in the right, it's okay. If they take you and put you in a jail, which is a bigger part of the thing. They're making money off of all of this. This has nothing to do with safety. And this is all an illusion. Pay attention. Who cares if they have a blue costume on? A lot of them, they're not getting very good picks. And it's been proven in court. There was a police department sued, and this is a tactic they do. They will hire guys with lower IQs. Do you know why? I'm not against anybody with a lower IQ. I'm not making fun of anybody. My IQs, I've lost 50 points because of all the medicine that I've stayed dumbed up with for years. But because I woke up, people think I'm nuts. I'm not. But what I'm saying is that all is a facade. They are left with just some real... The mentality, especially in Pittsburgh, it's very, very racist there, I promise. There's no diversity. There's no Latinos and this one and that one. Like you go to Cleveland, there's a little Puerto Rico, there's a little Italy. It's black and white. They're separate. They don't even talk to each other. I've listened to enough people that live there and enough families telling their story because they've murdered before. They've attempted murder, got away with it, and while that was going through trial because they paralyzed the kid, Leon Ford, because they thought he was Lamont Ford, they ended up murdering the guy they wanted to get. 2 years later, while all this was going on, Lamont Ford. Yep, just blatant. They do what they want. They're jacking these kids up. These kids weren't involved in no drive-by. If you were involved in a drive-by and you're going to run, wouldn't you take the murder weapon with you? Come on. Either they're big, tough, real criminals or they're little kids. You can't have it both ways. Well, they're little kids. That's why they left it in the car. No, nobody's leaving their gun in the car if they just shot somebody. And nobody was shot. Look at the windshield. Nobody was shot. The video they're showing you is what they do. This is all a stage. The courts are a stage. The dog and pony show. They know what's happening before they decide. But they got to go through the process. And nobody questions it. Because everybody's afraid to be under the radar. Well, I'm not. Here I am, under the radar. What are you going to do? But I'd rather die a woman with somebody. Yeah, I mean, some people might think of me as a lot of things, but I'm not what you think. I popped some pills, be mad at the doctors. They were handing them out like candy. I don't run around robbing people. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody in East Palestine, if I've ripped you off, burned you for money, call me out. I did it to one person, Dale Makel. Yeah. Because I owed him $80. I was working at the bar, and he come in drunk, and I said, I'm working, and you're drunk, and we're not talking about this. And he thought it'd be funny to tell everybody that I ripped him off when my night wasn't over yet. And he super glued my quarters to the bar. This would have been Shelley's tip. So I said, you know what? If I hit the lottery for $1 million, I will never pay you. I'll never give you that $80. So now you really are fucked. Other than that, I don't rip people off. And I'm sorry, but it's wrong to rip off a Dollar General. Very wrong. But they have insurance. Everybody's okay. You know, there's no reason to fucking disrupt my life and kick my door in, and then my husband ends up dead and doing all this. And I'm tired of being quiet, and everybody knows how I feel anyway. If you've ever taken me to jail, you know exactly how I feel. I don't care. I don't care what people think, that I'm causing problems with police. No, I'm not. I get told that by people. You need to stop with your Facebook page. Separate, you know, everybody's good thing I'm talking about them. It's not just 1, 2, 3, or 4 of you. Fuck that. Why? They're breaking the law, not me. And if I do my time. And that's okay. I'm not saying I should get away with crime. But they're not going to break it. They're not going to break the law while they put me in a cage, take me away from my child, leave him alone when it's convenient for them. No, but if I say you can't search my house, you'll use the exigent circumstance that you're concerned about my child. And I'm like, motherfucker, that applies to when there's babies and toddlers. Not 6-foot, 15-year-olds, Howder. Violating my rights. What can I do? I'm in a back seat handcuffed. Yep. Don't ask your public defender either to file a motion like I did. I know they all work together, but I thought they have to, do this. If I say file a motion to suppress because it was an illegal search, he admitted that the exigent circumstances did not apply whatsoever. You can't do that because there's a 15-year-old home alone, especially when just weeks before you come into my house, and as I'm trying to run towards my child, you pull me by my hair, almost face plant me, only at the stop of him saying, as he come around the corner with the camera on you, hey, that's a female, stop. Instead of doing proper protocol and escorting me right out the very first exit, no, we gotta make a pit stop all the way to the left so my face is in the drywall and I know your power. That's why I say, you're drunk off your power, you're sick, 'cause you are. But then whenever there was nobody who's going to take me to jail and you knew you fucked up, you couldn't concede and have some manliness and some dignity and say, we're sorry, have a nice night, you two. You knew that kid was there then, but you didn't care. Because what can we charge her with? And Officer Moore just sat there and went along. Didn't say, hey, she's just a nobody. We ignore her. I think they know I'm not a nobody. I should have been a somebody because I'd have them all in jail. Because they're breaking the law. You can't break the law while you put me in. I hate a hypocrite. So anyway, back to my point about the, okay, you see, he sees he's going to a press conference, but he's got shorts on, but he's got a nice suit and shirt on. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the fact he thinks he's going to be photographed from here up. This is all an illusion. That police uniform is a costume. If you look at the personalities behind some of these people, they're not the brightest. They don't know the law, and they are under no legal obligation to know it. They don't have to. They take a 6-week or 6-month course. You see them tasing people 5 times? That's because they're stupid. Oh, well, I've been tased at the academy. Well, you stupid pussy. You had 2 of your buddies with you and they laid you down gently and your arms tucked like they do in a fetal position. You keep tasing people, telling them, put your arms out, put your... You know goddamn well. So that tells me ends are sick. And anybody who doesn't look at everybody complaining and see that maybe there's a problem, but instead will take the side of someone because they wear a blue costume, no matter how stupid they are underneath, how corrupt, how evil, how just incompetent. Why? Why do people do that? Anyway, these Pittsburgh police, like I said, it is very racist up there. Believe me, it's black and white. They don't mingle. They don't talk. Honestly, I'd like to think that most of the white people who leave racist comments on social media and say things are being paid by like provocateurs and stuff. I'd like to think most people are trying to understand but yet don't, but aren't being so ignorant as to say ignorant things. You know, things they wouldn't say if they were, you know, I always say, why don't you come to my old neighborhood? Pick one out of the 4. You wouldn't say, you wouldn't stand behind nothing you said. But see, what I know is I stand behind everything I say everywhere I go. That's it. I don't get in the cop car and kiss ass. Nothing. I don't go to the hood and act like I'm black. And, well, you know, I'm me. And I say what I say, you know, I'll say it. And if I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. But I'm not wrong about this. They're jacking these kids up. Quit worshiping the blue. They're stealing your flag. It's an insult. How you going to put Blue Lives Matter and a thin blue line on an American flag? That's the exact opposite. We're supposed to have transparency in government, checks and balances. They're supposed to be following the law, not covering up their own crimes or incompetencies. And why y'all think that's the American flag anyway? It's red, white, and blue. Remember, you got mad at it so many times when people wouldn't respect it. It's a piece of cloth. It doesn't even mean anything anymore. It means nothing. Because the citizens don't respect it, and neither do the law enforcers or the legislatures or anybody in all 3 branches of government. None of them. None of us respect that flag. None of us are holding true to what it means. None of us. Because if you're worshiping blue costumes and just doing what your job was, and hey, he's just doing his job, you're an idiot. And if you think that we're all free whenever you see everyday people getting beat up, or you choose to ignore it, that's fine if it's hard for you, but don't say it's not happening. And life's really great. Great. Boom, boom, crackle, crackle with the fireworks. Glad y'all had so much to invest in explosives to tell everybody how free they are. But I'm not okay because there's people that are, their authorities are abusing power to extreme measures. I've not just seen it on video either. Don't misunderstand. I understand how this works, and I'm not out here just always trying to put down the police. I'm tired of people saying I'm anti-police. I'm anti-fucking stupid citizens. That's what I am. I'm anti-stupid citizens that keep giving them this power, and that's why we're in this mess. That's why they can go around and rob and steal and cheat and kill and maim, and everybody's afraid to say anything. Because they don't want to get retaliated against. There's people literally dying, seriously, dying for the rest of the generations behind them to be free. I always thought that was a cheesy statement. I did, I'll be honest. I get it now. Because it's being exposed. And if it has to be exposed at their death, you'll be saying, look, they killed him, you know. But we keep forgetting. I'm not talking about Antoine Rose. I'm talking about someone that's, you know, in a confrontation with trying to stand up for themselves, not an armed confrontation. These guys will blow you away, man, just for moving funny. And what's sad is some people think that's okay. I talked to a kid who was only at my house for one reason, and that was cool. But anybody knows you ever come into my house, we're talking about shit. And if you've talked about it in a fucked up kind of way on social media, I'm going to call you out on it. I'm going to question you. I want you to think different, not because I want to be right. I want you to quit being wrong. I want you to think better about people. Don't say you love the country and this is a disrespect to the flag because they're kneeling during my football game. You sound like an idiot. It's stupid. Anyway, this one kid says to me, y'all remember whenever that cop from South Carolina shot that black man as he was getting off work? He still had his thing on. He told him to get his license, and he went, and he thought he was reaching, and he shot him. He lived. They charged the cop, but guess what? I've done my homework on that, too. Him and his wife got arrested after that for stealing at Walmart. And they had a sentencing date to be announced, but you can't find it anywhere. I've used DuckDuckGo, Yahoo, Bing, Google, nothing. Out the door, it's all fake. But anyway, that guy said to me, well, he did move kind of fast. That's mindset. So, he moved fast. He was excited. Yeah, I got my license. What are you talking about? You wouldn't say that if that was you here in our town. Because the police wouldn't shoot you if you moved kind of fast to get your license. Why do you think why do you see that as okay? Why do you see yourself as different? Or them as different? I wasn't breaking no laws. I just got off work. His work shirt was on. It's got to such a bad point. But I'm just trying to show, here's this guy here. But the one more important thing I want to show is this. The truth. This is what they deal with there. And think about it. Think about this, white people. Would you like if about